I'm trying to get this to work as well as I can. All right, so we've been talking a lot about animals. This is lesson 26, by the way. And now we finally move on to plants. Today is the last day in this module, or this unit. And this is a combined day of lesson 26 and lesson 28. Lesson 27 was supposed to be you guys conducting your own research, but that's not so feasible with COVID, and we're out of time because we leap test on a Wednesday. This is Thursday afternoon and I'm recording Friday's lesson, okay? So we're supposed to make a claim about how plants respond to their environment. And we're first supposed to go back to the module anchor chart, which is what's on the floor right here. One of the most uncomfortable ways for me to present it. So let me run through and read what we have so far. Sense and response. Sensory structures. Animals have sensory structures, such as ears, eyes, and nose, that help them gather information about their environments. These sensory structures have smaller structures called sensory receptors. Different sensory receptors receive different information. We think sight because we see out of our eyes, but as I've pointed out to all three of my classes, we actually cannot see without the presence of light. So the information for our sight is actually light, sound, taste, touch, and odor about the same environment, and that information is sent to the animal's brain. Waves form, I must have torn this when I was putting this on the floor. I noticed. Waves form regular patterns described by their amplitude and their wavelength. Waves moving across deep water move matter up and down or back and forth, but do not cause matter to move in the same direction as the wave. Waves transfer energy across a distance. Now back to animals. For an animal to sense vibrations in the ground, energy must travel from a source to an animal's sense receptors. For an animal to hear a sound, energy must travel from the sound's source to the animal's ear. Sound travels through the air like a spring, moving the air back and forth, but not over a significant distance. So those are all about sense and response and waves. Response itself. Animals receive information about the environment through their external sensory structures. I'm missing a word in there. About the environment through their external sensory structures and process the information by using internal structures. They then respond in ways that help them survive, grow, and reproduce. Remember, those were the three choices we were given when we were doing those four squares. What is the purpose of the response in the animal? It's either to survive, to grow, or to reproduce. Oh, that was probably pretty loud. My marker's falling. Yes, nobody even noticed today. I'm wearing more Dr. Seuss shoes. Okay, so purpose of every animal behavior is to survive, to grow, or to reproduce. Okay. Animal behaviors are innate, which can be instinctual or reflexive, or animal behaviors are learned. You come to school to learn new behaviors. Those behaviors can be learning how to do division, learning how to multiply. It can be learning how to write a paragraph. It can be learning about science, learning about applying writing skills to social studies. And once you've learned in social studies, do a lot of writing in social studies. Okay. So now we're supposed to consider which statements may apply to plants. Okay. Plants get up and move. Can plants have behaviors? Okay. Can plants behave? Can they have external sensory structures? Can they process information by using internal structures, or do they have a brain? Can plants respond in ways that help them survive, grow, and reproduce? Do plants respond? Hoping the pen I just grabbed works. I hope. Parts of this lesson are gonna be on the floor. Okay, so you have a chart on page not 65. On page 67, making claims. This is about plants. I'm marking this in my notebook. You don't need to mark yours this way. Okay. So a claim. I want you to write this in your claim. In pencil, not in pen. Plants respond when things touch them. Okay. Plants respond when things touch them. Okay. Our evidence of that. Anybody ever heard of a Venus flytrap? Anybody ever touch a Venus flytrap? So we've had one. I've read and seen. So read about is why I'm putting about in parentheses. Venus, you capitalize Venus, fly traps that snap shut when you touch them. Or when flies land on them. Okay. So if we were trying to find information on that, where could we go to find that information? Could we look online for information about plants? Could we look in books? Could we study the plants themselves? So if we were to look for investigation ideas, we could read about how plants respond when things touch them. And we could set up experiments with touching plants. Okay. Let's see if I can fix the darkness on this. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. That's not what I want to do. Stop share, screen share, live image, share, enlarge. Okay, I hope, and it stop share on that. Image mate, share. I hope that made it easier for you to see, not harder. Okay, so there's one thing. Okay, so here is another plane. Some internal and external structures help plants survive, grow, and reproduce. Okay. Again, I just grabbed another color to make it easier for you guys to see this and to make it more interesting visually to look at than just pencil. Okay. I want you writing this in pencil, not pen. Okay. So evidence. I've seen thorns, roots, and flowers on plants. I've heard they all help plants. Investigation ideas. Can read more about plant parts, making it short. Okay. So under this one, I'm going to write, just giving the answers to you. Okay. I'm sure you don't mind it when I give you the answers. Thorns keep animals away from plants. Roots soak up water and nutrients. That's Nutrients. Flowers can help plants reproduce. Okay, Reproduce. Flowers can help plants reproduce. Okay. All right. This one doesn't really have a correlation with these two, but just information you need to know. Some plants actually many, but some plants lean towards light, which helps them grow. Okay, let me move this up. So let me read this again. Plants respond when things touch them. Second bullet point, some internal and external structures help plants survive, grow, and reproduce. Investigation ideas. Read about how plants respond when things touch them, and we could set up experiments with touching plants. Second bullet point, read more about plant parts. Thorns keep animals away from plants. Roots soak up water and nutrients. Flowers can help plants reproduce. Evidence. I've read and seen about Venus flytraps that snap shut when you touch them or when flies land on them. Second bullet point. I've seen thorns, roots, and flowers on plants. I've heard they all help plants. Then a third bulleted point, it doesn't really go with these two. Some plants lean towards light, which helps them grow. If you needed more time with that, you need to stop the video to go back to that. Okay, so sensory structures, I need to add a bit to. Sure. Supposed to mind read and know that I was going to be going back and adding stuff to this and make it like a Word document and just add more space. Of course, I didn't know this way back then. So sense and response, sensory structures, just cram in an extra line right here. It's going to be so small that you guys won't be able to read it during your test. Plants have different sensory structures that help them gather information That's me. Info stands for information about their environment. Okay. So plants have different sensory structures that help them gather information about their environment. So plants can have tiny hairs on them that, let's see what the hairs do. That was hidden in one little part of a lesson. I'm doing my lesson right now, Jacob. I'm recording. Okay. So plants can have little hairs on them that allow them to respond when things touch those little hairs. That can be the sensory structure that helps them gather information about their environment. And that can be what allows them to realize something's touching it. Okay, that could be their sensory structure, because obviously they don't have eyes, they don't have ears, they have to have some other kind of sensory structure that allows them to gather information from the environment, which is pretty cool. They have other things, and you never think about that about a plant. But plants have to have some way of gathering information about their environment. That way they can interact with their environment and stay safe and stay alive. Because remember, the whole ball game is to survive long enough to grow and reproduce. And that goes for plants, for animals, for bacteria, even for viruses. And viruses are never even alive. Okay, so we have this added. And then down here in response, we have to add something too. And I don't want it to be the same color as the light green. So again, we go to dark green. So plants respond. What's hairs down here on the floor? That's not mine because I don't have dark red hair. So plants respond to information. And again, I'm going to abbreviate information to info about their environment. in ways that help them grow, survive, and reproduce. That's an R, and this is a W. It makes them have something in common with animals. See, animals receive information about their environment through their external sensory structures and process the information by using internal structures. They then respond in ways that help them survive, grow, and reproduce. Plants respond to information about their environment in ways that help them grow, survive, and reproduce. Makes them have something in common with animals. Bet you do not know they had that much in common with animals. Okay. So on your conceptual checkpoint, I'm going to have you compare a Venus flytrap with an animal, okay? And we've not gone over clear differences. Heck, we've not gone over a Venus flytrap. So what I want you to do, skip your notebook to page 71. And I'm just going to give you information, straight information about Venus flytrap, okay? I told you this is a short lesson. All right. So go to your page 71. I'm going to move all of this so I can get off the floor. I know I'm a country girl. I don't mind about getting dirty, but I got to get off the floor eventually. Let me go put this poster up on the board. I'll be right back, guys. We'll get it in the morning. Let's go. Okay. Coming back, guys. Okay, your conceptual checkpoint on Monday should be easy, easy, easy. Okay, everyone should make an easy, easy A. No excuse for anything other than an A. Got it? Because I'm telling you what's on it on Friday, and I'm having you write half of it down in your notebook. And the other half we've been studying for 6 weeks or so, maybe longer, I don't know, a long time. So Monday's conceptual checkpoint, you're going to be comparing a Venus flytrap, which is a plant, to an elephant. Okay. So right now on page 71, you're going to write down
qualities of a Venus flytrap. So let's start off by writing, and I have to make sure I have this underneath my page. In pencil, 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 pencil. If I come back and see that you've written this in pen, I'm taking off points. So plant, I'm writing mine in pen so you can see mine clearly. Got it? Plant. You're writing yours in pencil. Venus flytrap. Okay. It feels with hairs in the trap. It only opens and closes. In other words, it doesn't get up and walk around. It's a plant, guys. Doesn't hear sound. Can't communicate. It's not going to trumpet. It's not going to shout. It's not going to pee or poop. And doesn't have a brain to remember anything. Okay? No, it tells me where to go. But it gave us websites to go to. Seven. Let's see what else we can find out about Venus flytraps. I think this might be cool. Post attendee. Let's see what we can find. So let's find out what they look like. Here's a picture of it. And of course, Etsy's blocked. I want to look at a picture. Here's a picture. They're actually quite small. When you find them at Lowe's, they're really small, and a lot of times they don't look so healthy. That's a pitcher plant flytrap. Okay, they're very small. Normally not very fast, actually. Okay. All. They're triggered by tiny hairs. So it says it takes two times the hairs being triggered. See those little hairs right there? When an insect or spider crawling along the leaves contacts a hair, the trap prepares to close, snapping shut only if another contact occurs within approximately 20 seconds of the first strike. So they're not going to use up all their energy closing every time one of those trigger hairs gets activated. It's only if it gets activated twice within 20 seconds. They don't want to waste all their energy. And the plant will only begin digestion of that bug after 5 or more stimuli to ensure it's caught a live bug worthy of consumption, because it takes a lot of energy to break down the bug. It was discovered in 1759. There's a flower. Makes little seeds. Longhorn beetles, checker beetles, and sweat bees can pollinate it. We have longhorn beetles around here. This was the original places that it grew. So originally it was in Virginia and South Virginia. I mean, Virginia, West Virginia. No, it says native to North South Carolina. Sorry. Virginia and South, West Virginia over here. So this is North and South Carolina. Lives in nutritionally poor soil. Requires a lot of sun. Here's one closing. Kind of cool, right? Shows how they're activating it. See? Here's a fly and a beetle. It's on the decline. It is located in an area prone to hurricanes. A lot of people steal them. Goodness gracious. Several poachers have been charged, with one man receiving 17 months in prison for poaching 970 Venus flytraps. Wow. So that's another thing that it has in common with African elephants anyway. Poaching of Venus flytraps is a big problem. That's something it has in common with African elephants, not so much Asian elephants, but African elephants. It's just pretty crazy that a little plant like this has a problem with poaching, just like the African elephants. Crazy, right? Truth is stranger than fiction.
So that's about the Venus flytrap. You're going to be comparing it to an elephant. So on your conceptual checkpoint. So an elephant feels with his feet, right? Specifically leans on his feet. If we're looking at it specifically, yes. Feels with feet and trunk. Can it only open and close? No, it can move in many different directions. Does it hear sound? Absolutely, it hears sound. It hears sound better than humans hear sound. It can hear lower frequency sounds than humans. It can hear infrasound, INFRA sound, and it can hear higher pitch sounds than humans can. So it can definitely hear sounds. It can hear better than humans. It can communicate, and it certainly has a brain to remember many things. And remarkably enough, poaching of African elephants is a big problem, as they're currently, both kinds of African elephants are endangered. Okay, that's going to be your conceptual checkpoint for Monday. So I want this. Oops, I got to stop sharing on this screen. Then I got to go back to ImageMate. Sorry, guys. I want this chart copied on your page 71. Okay, so your conceptual checkpoint on Monday, I'm going to ask you Venus flytrap, elephant. Qualities that are different in a Venus flytrap versus elephant. Then I'm going to ask you how they're similar. Because one way they're similar is that poaching is a major problem for Venus flytraps and elephants. Both of them sense things, but by using different senses. Venus flytraps use tiny hairs on the insides of their traps. Elephants use their feet and their trunks and their super sensitive ears. Okay. Another similarity is they're both alive. They're both living organisms. Okay. Of course, you're going to have the chart in the front of the room that I have hanging up, the one that I just showed you as I was making it. I want this copied in your page 71. That way you have the differences. I'm doing mine in green. Writing on here similarity. And then other similarities. Differences. And I want you writing all this in your chart. So you have this readily available for Monday, because I want all my students to ace my quiz come Monday. Similarities. Living organism. Senses. External. Sensory. External sensory structures allow the flytrap to grow, survive, and reproduce in its environment. Just like the elephant has external sensory structures to allow it to grow, survive, and reproduce in its environment. Responds to its environment. Okay. These three things plus this one, those are all similarities that this Venus flytrap has with the elephant. And I want you to copy all of this onto your page 71. Okay. This should make your conceptual checkpoint on Monday easy peasy. Okay. So get all this copied. If you need to, you can hit pause. That way you have additional time to get this done. Your anchor chart that I've updated is on the whiteboard. This is lesson 28, the part of it we needed to do. Because there wasn't much of lesson 28 that we needed to do. And we did lesson 26 when we did this bit. This needs to all be in your notebook also. So page 67. Make sure you have all that copied. Okay, because part of your unit test on Tuesday has to do with plants. And your conceptual checkpoint Monday is comparing the Venus flytrap to an elephant. All right. And with what I've made you copy today, your page 71 makes your conceptual checkpoint a walk in the park. You're welcome. Okay. Get all this done. All right. It makes today's lesson very short. All right, my friends. When you're done, you may do extra math. You may do Zern. You may do Quill. You may do Amplify. Okay. I don't want you out of your seats. All right, my friends. See you later. Anything that I went too fast on, you can go back, rewind the video as needed. All right. And goodbye.